I worked for a company called Austin Bridge and Road,
Hmm.
and I was digging ditches or cleaning off catch basins and getting, stuff for catch basins is what catches the water under the road. And I did that for a while. That job ended, so I moved to Baton Rouge, and I would wait tables at Texas de Brazil, and I would put up metal buildings or go apply for jobs during the daytime. And what ended up happening was they were building this hospital job, and I went to it once, and the lady's like, "You can't see the boss." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." I go back. Can I see? Is he available? She's like, "You can't come and see the boss." Well, so I think it was the third or the fourth time I went. I ended up talking to her about shit on her wall and her kids because she had photos up. And this is a job trailer on a construction site.
Hmm.
The hospital's not done; they're building it. And she goes, "You know what? Stay right there." And I have my little resumes because I go hand them out during the day trying to get a construction job. And it had nothing on it, by the way. All it was is I played football and I had a construction management degree.
Hmm.
But in 2009, there was not as much work. We were in the recession. So, oh, grizzled 50 something year old white man comes in and he goes, "Are you Justin?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Come with me." So we go back in the job trailer, plops down in his seat, and he leans back and he's like, and I'm just like, slide it to him, right? And he looks at it, and he looks at me, and he looks at it, he looks at me, and he flops it down the table and he goes, "You mean to tell me that you've come in here 3 or 4 times? I know about you coming in here to talk to the boss to get a job on a $40 million hospital project." And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he took a deep breath and he looked at me and goes, "I like that shit." And he gave me a job. Boom, got a job. And what I did was I went to the bank. You had to have a net worth of $10,000. And I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad my junior year of college. We're on the way to play Arkansas. And it was a bus trip. It was short and like I, tried to get through it right. So I knew I wanted to have a business. I understood the quadrants,
Hmm.
as they would say, like employee, business owner, and gets to investor, all those things. And so what I did is I went to the bank and I was like, "Listen, they're paying me per diem. I can live off of that. I want you to take my whole check and put it in this other account because I want to save up $10,000
Hmm.
because you had to have a net worth. You could have put my whole family together. It would have been negative something.
Wait,
You know what I'm saying? So
what?
I'm like, let's leave them out of it. Let me see. Let me see if if
Hmm.
I can save this money up. And sure enough, after 6 months, I saved the $10,000 up, and I applied for my contractor's license, and that was 13 years ago. So. Uh,
And where did you get this like drive from? Because it doesn't sound like either of your parents really, it sounds like they pushed you into business or anything.
no, no, not at all.
Yeah, because it's like for me, it's just expected. That's like what everyone does. But for you, it's so interesting to hear when people come from like a background that maybe wasn't conducive, like the best place to grow up, and they still end up like
Yeah.
crazy successful.
I think what happens is some people, and there are two of these people who are sitting here, some people see what their atmosphere has to offer and they follow it. Some people, like me, see their atmosphere and know what they don't want to become. And it was just simply that for me. And then you have to think too, high testosterone, young American, red blooded, ambitious, sports background, competitive.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't even say I'm that competitive, really. Like, I don't compare myself to people ever, ever, ever. And it's not because I'm like super against it. I just don't feel that way.
Hmm.
It would be disingenuous for me to be like, I don't compare myself to other people because I love myself. No, I just really don't feel that way. I do love myself. And for that, um, so I don't know exactly where it came from in regards to like what sparked it, but I do quite enjoy it. And I think that's probably has something to do with it. And I also think it's a bigger risk to have a really good job and be capped out than
Hmm.
it'll ever be to fail. I'd much rather fail. I go bankrupt tomorrow. I would get a job that was shit enough that when I got caught working on my business, they'd fire me and I wouldn't care. And I think a lot of people get caught in that trap. They get that really good job and that mortgage has got to get paid. And if they lose that job, they're fucked. Man, I was just as happy in a shitty apartment that I am in my place in Miami or my new house in Dubai is
Hmm.
going to be, you know.